Today has been a great opportunity for staff to hear about the progress that's been made over the last couple of years. The people that were living in a hospital and those that were living in supported living services have now really had the opportunity to settle into their new homes, and people are desperate to tell their story because there's some really good things to tell. And today we've heard of stories from people that have moved home. We've heard of stories from mums and dads who were, had such a big and major challenge over this couple of years to make things better. And so there's some really good news to tell now. We want to share this information so that it can be an inspiration for everybody else. One of the things that was always done here was that chief officers all agreed we didn't only just want to make things better in Cornwall, we wanted to make them better than anywhere in the country. And we're certainly on our way to that now. The 200 people or so that we originally worked with over the last couple of years, their improvements have been going steadily from strength to strength, and now the task is to mainstream that so that those improvements can take place for everybody else in Cornwall. That's a big challenge, but we can do that with the staff sharing the information and working really closely with families and the people in their services. So let's keep it on. Here's an opportunity to share that, and we really hope that it's been successful and there'll be many more opportunities like it.
What's good practice for you?
I think good practice is about people keeping themselves safe and knowing how to say no when they're being hurt by other people. So it's about people knowing how to do that, and it's about organisations knowing their responsibilities in terms of keeping people safe too and working together.
Sharing best practice. Well, critically, I guess it's an opportunity for those people who haven't had the experience or haven't necessarily had the training or the knowledge or all of those things to understand exactly how or the best way in which they should approach supporting people who have a learning disability. And I think we are lucky in Cornwall because we've got examples, really good examples of the best ways to support people, and we've got experience of the worst ways in which you can support people. So we have the opportunity in sharing the knowledge here for people to see the differences between the worst and the best, and we should aspire for nothing more or nothing less than the best ways of supporting people. So this opportunity, this day, has been an opportunity to do that and for people to see that. And I think it's important because collectively, all of us in all of our organisations and all of us in our supporting roles, whether you're like me, a commissioner, and you're purchasing services, or whether you are running an organisation providing services, that we need to be really sure that as a whole system we're being really thoughtful about these things, and we're not, as we have been in the past, being thoughtless about these things.
Can you tell me your attendance today?
I'm disappointed, Anthony, that there aren't more people here today. I think we could do with more colleagues, both in health and social care. We need to get the message out.
Can you give me a key to today's or this morning's in your workshop?
The workshop this morning has gone really, really well. We've had lots of positive feedback. We had a real cross-section of people there. We had people from the day centres, we had provider agencies there, some service users, a lady attendant who's had an individual service design, and some of our mental health colleagues. So it's been really, really interesting, lots of good feedback.
Stephen, what do you think about today?
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant. Just, yeah, it's a bit of a shame about the turnout of the people, really. But what people we've got here is absolutely brilliant. They're really keen to be involved and they're willing to know about what's going on, and they really want to be involved in the workings of what's going on within advocacy, within Cornwall and learning disability. So it's good that people are willing to take on board what is said today, and hopefully there may be another event like this in the future which will help build another advocacy network for Cornwall.
I think it's been really interesting because it's doing exactly what the title says, sharing information, and it's given us all an opportunity to talk to each other. We all come from different directions, but we've all got the same aim, and this is a place to do it, obviously. I'm being the parent, well, I am a parent, and I'm putting my side of it on what we would expect, you know, parents, and what we were looking for in the future.
People were saying, we want to do this, we know we've got people we support in day centres and out in the community, and we still aren't sure how we help them get the homes that they want. So some leadership now to make things carry on happening is really, really critical. But people were really fired up and very accepting of change, want it to happen, and enthusiastic. So it was a really positive response, but they need to know what's happening next and how they're going to do it across Cornwall.
I went to the housing workshop and there were a couple of parents there, and what was really interesting was that they said a couple of years ago they didn't believe that their sons and daughters could live independently in a house of their own, and now they are doing, and it's really working out for them and it's going really well. So that was really interesting, that challenged their views and their beliefs. Listening to the parents was the most interesting thing about the workshop, I think. There was a lot of information in there and there's a lot of things to read about and go home with, but the big thing for me was listening to the parents.
I want everybody to have equality, whether they have a disability or not. They all have to be able to make their own choices. If they can't make their own choices, then they have to have the correct support to be able to do that.
It's been very informative. Found out a lot about lessons learned and ways forward for people with learning disabilities. What's been crucial for me is understanding the amount of work that we need to do to involve people in all the choices that they have, and thinking about the future.
The best practice today is, the sharing of information and ideas, and especially having advocacy as a key in that. And working together is the only way forward for the future within Cornwall.
I've recently come back to work at Care Work, and I want to learn everything there is to know. I think we've all got to work together.
I think the future for social work teams is going to be a changing future. I think those of us that work with people with learning disabilities in the future will be working in a very different way, making sure that the person is right at the centre of everything that we do. We'll be driving forward person-centred planning and ensuring that people, along with this, the support that they want, will be getting the care that they need within their communities.